I think there are more women in social sciences than any other science fields in Zimbabwe, and increasingly so over the past 2 decades, because the jobs are more and more technical, the jobs are more and more demanding. There is more competition because, as you might know, Zimbabwe is considered very high in terms of literacy levels in Africa. My grandmother, for example, during my last visit to Zimbabwe, asked me, "Why are you still in school?" That is a basic question that I've been asked several times. They do not understand why I am still in school. I don't think they would ask my brother, because my brother is expected to be doing something. It doesn't matter whether he's studying or working, but someone like me, they would expect that the basic education that I have is enough.
There is more investment in general for boys to proceed with their studies, whereas for women it's more difficult to see families investing on education for women. There's not much investment in science in general, and that of course also helps women not going to science.
Within Stellenbosch University and in the School of Public Leadership, where I am based, we've been seeing a significant number of increase in number of black women who are taking modules in sustainable development. But the challenge comes when the women have to do their master's or PhD levels. The difficulties that women face in science, particularly balancing family and a career, so that is the main contribution. And from the policy point of view is the lack of policies that can support women in science. So an example is being capable of providing both paternal leave for both male and female, and at a specific duration without the fear of women losing their jobs.
There's still a very skewed bias and sort of gendered bias towards more men getting research funding and being able to sort of pursue research careers. I think sort of showcasing, for one, the role of women in research. If you open a lot of like these sort of science magazines, popular science magazines, you have, you know, the Stephen Hawking's showcased a lot more than than female researchers and academics. So a lot more needs to be done there. On the continent, the shift towards more sort of privately funded higher education rather than the public means that families in already sort of austerity strapped situation are then skewed and prioritizing men's education, sort of reflecting an existing gender bias. So on one hand, it's the social aspects, i.e. mentorship, changing policy and shifting that, but there's also the sort of economic, socio-economic, political economic questions, and that we need to sort of open up access. And that can really only be done, I think, by public funding. Private sector funding still tends to be skewed.